The United States ping pong team took another pounding from the Chinese, Polish, and Romanian teams this morning, extending the longest losing streak ever known. They have lost 419 games since 1971, and this American thinks it's time to speak up for the Americans as the most inept and possibly the worst ping pong players on all the earth. As long as 15 years ago, when I first read the sports page, I read about winning baseball teams. Who rushed in with players to win? The Puerto Ricans did. They have helped win pennants for the Pirates, the Dodgers, the Twins, and the Braves. Today, the Japanese are paying large salaries to baseball players, and it is the Americans who are rushing over there to cash in. Korea, Vietnam, and to a lesser extent, Cambodia and Laos were leveled to the debris of war by the Americans, who poured in billions of dollars and lent billions more. None of those countries is today foolish enough to pay even the interest on their remaining debts to the United States. When the generosity of the American pocketbook offended the Europeans in 1968, what did they do? They took the money and ran. I was there. I watched in amusement. When there is money to be made, it is the United States that rushes in to make it. The oil shortage is one of the most recent examples. So far this winter, 59 American corporations have filed for bankruptcy. Nobody has stopped them. The new frontier, the Great Society, pumped billions upon billions of dollars into this country. Now newspapers in this country are asking what happened to our American tax dollars. I'd like to see just one of those countries that is laughing over the condition of the United States dollar spend $100 billion in Vietnam. Come on, let's spend it. Does any other country in the world have a car to equal the Ford Edsel, the Chevrolet Corvair, or the Studebaker Lark? If so, why don't they drive them? Why do no other people on earth drive Packards? Why does no other country on the earth even consider building a Willys? You talk about Cuban technocracy and you get sugarcane. You talk about Russian technocracy and you get deported. You talk about American technocracy and you get the hula hoop. Not just one, but warehouses full of them. You talk about dirty politicians and the Americans put them in office for everybody to laugh at. Even the crooked ones are not indicted and prosecuted. They are in their offices. Most of them, unless they are on European fact-finding trips, are getting American dollars from contractors and interest groups in return for favors. When the Americans get out of this bind, as they will, who could blame them if they asked, what the hell are we doing? Let someone else buy Vietnam a war. Let someone else topple Chile's government or support a puppet government in Cambodia that won't shake apart in free elections. When the railways of the United States were going bankrupt, no other country would foolishly rebuild them. Now that they've spent all their money, they are broke. No one can figure out why. I can name you 5,000 times when the Americans have gotten themselves in trouble by spending too much money. Can you name me even once when they didn't spend too much money? I don't think there was outside help even when we spent $10 billion to send a man to the moon. We Americans have done this alone, and I'm one American who is damned tired of wasting my money. We will come out of this thing with our flag high and our wallets empty, and when we do, we will prove P.T. Barnum was right. A sucker is born every minute. I wish Americans weren't like this, but there are as many free spending as there are freeloading Americans. And finally, the good ship Lollipop has run aground. This country's disasters have taken the cake, and nobody, but nobody, has helped.